In this video, we're going to look at how to make some histograms using technology. In your book, they do go through more about the logistics of doing one out by hand and all the intervals and how they're chosen. We did that according to how to make a table in chapter 1, and it's the same process, very similar. So I'm not going to go through that, and we're going to use technology. I'm going to be pulling from this data set in the book. It's labeled 2.7 in the book, but on our sheet, it's number 4. So we're going to put that as 2.4, and I've put the data in here for you. It's the heights to the nearest ½ inch of 100 male semi-professional soccer players. They're continuous data since that's how height is measured. Our lowest value is 60. Our highest is 74. When we use the technology, the histogram will be made for us, and we don't need to worry too much about like how many classes or, how wide. It should automatically do it according to the rules, but if we don't like how it looks, we can adjust some things. Okay, so we're going to go into statlit.com again, so go ahead and pull that up, and I'm going to just copy this data. I'm going to just highlight, and then you can hit Control-C or right click on your mouse and click copy, or up here you could do copy. And then I'm going to get into the Statlit. I'm going to click the quantitative variable single group. So it's the 4th line down. This comes out really small, so I'm going to make it bigger so you can see better. And then I'm going to add in the variable name. I'm just going to put heights for now. If we were really doing something for a project or one of your activities, you'd want to be a little more precise in your labeling. We're putting in raw data, and we are going to, so click in the box here and right click in there. Oh, it doesn't want to do it for me. I'm going to click Control-V to get that in there. And again, we can just kind of look at our data by arrowing over if we want to just double check it. Then we're going to click Begin Analysis, and we get a dot plot by default. So we're going to change that in the drop-down menu to histogram. And this is what we get. We want frequency, not relative frequency. I think that's our only choices there. You can change the width or enter your boundary values if you want to have them be a little bit different than what they came up with. It's nice because in Statlit it'll label it for you. So we have heights at the bottom, and then we have our frequency, we have our scale on the side from 0 up to 40. If we hover over one of the bars of the histogram, we can see the interval that there's 66 to 68, and then it includes 68 but not, 66 but not the 68, and we have 40 values in there. You can go down here, see that one precisely. It's pretty nice, so you don't have to worry too much about looking over. If we also note with histograms, they should touch. And we have the summary statistics here, our amount, our mean. So we have 100 values is our N, mean is 67.26, standard deviation is 2.888. Now this happens to be the sample standard deviation, which is what we'll usually be getting. So there may be a few questions here and there that you have a population standard deviation in your electronic homework, but I'll try to differentiate those for you, and then we'll take a look and see if it makes too much of a difference and how we can adjust for that if we need to. The minimum is 60. First quartile, we'll talk more about these in another video, but the box plots are created from a 5-number summary, which is given right here. First 25% is up to 66, and then median is a halfway point, 67. Third quartile or 75th percentile is 69.25, and the max is 74. So if you would like to try that on your own, pause the video and work on getting the data in and make sure yours matches. You can also insert it right into the Word document that we're working with here, that graph, if you would like to have it show underneath. I'll show you how to do that. Just be careful that with the Word document, you're not going to have trouble with the formatting and things like that. So you may want to do it just on a separate blank page. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to actually pull up a blank page for you. And this is how you can submit your notes. You don't have to redraw the histogram or anything. You can just simply clip it into this blank page here. Sometimes people like to take pictures of their screen with their phone and then compile those up together in a PDF file or pop them on a Word doc, insert them, upload them in Canvas. That's up to you how you do that, but you don't need to retype everything, write everything out or any of that. So here is how we're going to snip this. So we're going to get our snipping tool that I showed you in another video. Just you can search for it if you need to up here in the search bar. Click that window and then, click snipping tool and get it that way. If you right click on that, you can get it onto your start menu like I have, or your taskbar. So here is the snipping tool if you needed to look that up. I'm just going to go in here. This is the one we did from the other chapter. So I'm going to start a new one by clicking that plus. And then I need to grab in the corner, just click, see that little X. And then I'm going to highlight, and I just want the graph in the labels, and then it'll come up over here, and then I think I can just right click on that and copy it. Let's see how that works. Or you can insert it, you can save it and insert it, but we'll just paste it on. There we go. And it does come out pretty large. So we can shrink that down. And you could just label this. If you want to be able to format them better, you can put it in a text box like I showed you before. But you could just put that one there, and then let's go underneath and just say example 2.4. So you would just save this as notes, something like that. Okay, so it's up to you how you want to save it. You could say chapter 2 notes and just put these graphs in. So when you have activities and things, it'll be the same process. Sometimes you'll want to format it a bit nicer into a document. So we'll do a couple more. I might insert a text box here just to show you again. You click insert, and then I can go text box. And then we could do, oh, disappeared here. Draw a text box. Then you just put it where you want it to go. Take this, cut, and then paste. I can even put this in with it. Control X or hit cut. You should be able to get that in there as well. Just gonna make a little room. Hit enter. So I click at the side of this, so this box will show up, and if I click beside it and hit enter, then Control V, I can write that in there. I can even center that to make it look a little nicer. I can move this around a little bit too and size it better to the box. And if I want to get rid of the edges of the box, I can click on it so you see those dots, and then I can right click and get rid of the outline. So I right click and then I can say outline and then no outline. And then I can't see it unless I click there. And sometimes it's a little tricky to know which one's your actual text box versus your graph box. So kind of click outside of it, and then you see this little symbol there, you can move it around. Okay, we'll do another problem here from the worksheet. So I'm just pulling up the Chapter 2 Stats Notes blank document again, Word document. And we have example 2.5. This is the total cost of textbooks for the term that we looked at previously. This was collected from 36 students, so our N is 36. We want to construct a histogram for this data. This is by hand and by using the calculator. So I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to by technology. So that's what we're going to do. So we can either do boundaries or we could do the midpoints. We're going to just let the Staplet decide. So let's see how it likes it with these dollar signs. We're going to copy, and then we're going to go back into Staplet. So if we have one there and we want to use the same thing, we can just say reset everything. It's totally different. If it was just different data, same title, we could leave that. But we're going to put in cost of textbooks. That's raw data. It can be separated by commas or spaces. So I think it may not like the dollar signs. Let's see. Yeah, so it says there's a problem with that. So we have to adjust for that. So let's go back and I'll show you how you can take those out. And we're going to hit, it's highlighted already. We're going to hit editing, and then we're going to say replace, and then we're going to find the dollar symbol, and okay, so what you would do with this is click the replace, put in dollar symbol, and then click in this box and just leave it empty so it would show as a space, and then hit replace all. And I do not want it to do anything else, just what I had highlighted. And you can see that is now just spaces. So we're going to go ahead and we're copying, and we'll paste into Statlet. I'll put our cost of textbooks back in here. Raw data, begin analysis. Again, it's always that dot plot, but we want a histogram. And there we are. Okay, and if you wanted to save this, you could do the snipping tool. It'll pop up here. You can make this box a little bit bigger. Click New. And then you capture it. I had to go bring that back up. I right click, copy. Then I can go on to my blank that I had before. I can make a text box and do all that, or I can just write here example 2.5. It's easier to type first, then hit enter, and then Control V to put that in. And then you can shrink it down. Do be sure to shrink it down so that it doesn't take up so much space and things like that. And upload time. And it's okay if you're a little off, like here. I have that little piece of that there. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I go back to our workbook. Time series graph. We are just going to look at a little bit of how they are made, not how they are made, but just what they look like. So this data below shows the United States CO2 emissions for the years 2003 to 2009. The time series plot of the data is on the left. So this is obtained by plotting the time in which a variable is measured on the horizontal axis and the corresponding value of the variable on the vertical axis. Line segments are then drawn connecting the points. So it gives you an idea of the layout of how the emissions are, and it's along a time continuum. So it's very similar. It's a very similar process. It's just that we have years under there. And the next video, we're going to look at 2.3, and we'll do just a separate lesson on that. Have a great day.